I'm Steve Kelly. Welcome to The Real World, a program that looks at the people, the jobs, and the real-life issues of today's real world. I'd like to say this is a job that's been around for as long as fire itself. The red flashing lights seem like they've been with us forever. But in reality, career firefighters have only been around as long as insurance companies. Because it was insurance companies that set up the first fire brigades to protect the buildings they had insured in the new sprawling cities, where uncontrolled fire spreading unchecked would move easily from building to building, like you see along this street in any built-up area. Without a good fire brigade, it may just keep burning till the whole city was destroyed. But this isn't likely to happen thanks to the work of firefighters, whose skill, courage and community spirit sees them go out to face and quell the fire, no matter how big or how frightening. This program lets you meet the real people who do this for a living, today's firefighters, the issues confronting them, and the training they need to do it today. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, firefighters are stopping fires, dealing with poisonous chemicals, gas, explosions and accidents. In between, they retreat to their fire stations. Most of us have little idea what the inside of one looks like, so let's start with a tour of a typical suburban fire station.
This is our watch room.
What now?
This is the nerve centre, as we call it. This is where we receive our fire calls in our occurrence book, where we log all the events that happen at the fire station in it. This is our main firefighting appliance. It has a Godiva UMPX pump, which pumps at 52 litres a second. We have a hose in the back. And this is our main firefighting appliance when we have a house or building or factory alight. This is our water tanker. It's an off-road vehicle with four-wheel drive. It's mainly used for bush and grass and off-road fires. It carries 4,000 litres of water and has a number of hose reels plus other lengths of hose we can use. And we have a specific appliance to carry all our rescue gear for motor vehicle accidents, industrial accidents. We have our main locker room. Everybody has their own locker. Keep all their gear, firefighting gear and clothes. We have our showering facilities. We come through. It's pretty typical. Toilets and showers and sinks and basins. We have our gear room where all the station gear is hung on pegs, ready for turnout. This is where all the gear is stored for all the other shifts. Everyone keeps their gear in here. And we have our rec room, lecture room. It's where we spend most of our time watching TV or doing lectures and drills in schools. We have our mess facilities. This is pretty typical of a fireys mess room. Most of the washing up only gets done once a day, and the rest of the time it looks pretty clean. Everything gets cleaned by the firefighters on the shift, including the toilets, the vacuuming, the showers. Everything gets washed at the beginning of the first day of the day shift every day, and that way the fireys keep their own amenities clean for themselves. We wash all the fire appliances ourselves. We wash the engine bays. We keep our own stoves and messing facilities clean, and as I said, we vacuum the floors and clean the toilets, so we're the best paid cleaners in the world.
Keep in mind, all the scenes you see and the people you meet in this episode of Real World are real firefighters with their personal views of the job.
And I had to put a caber on, I'm rushing in, getting water into the appliance and then going into a job, and my heart's going, my breath's going, I'm trying to think and concentrate and listen, all these million things you have to do at once, and it does happen like that. Yeah. I mean, you need to rely on every ounce of skill you have, and you've really got to draw on it. And if it's not all there, you're going to lose. And
It is hard to think and talk sometimes, isn't it?
Sorry? But I'll be getting the water.
Not much.
Because we use like we carry 1,800 litres approximately on our appliance. But you know, in a house fire, you'll use that up straight away. So I've got to find a hydrant that's applicable and hope there's no car parked in front of it or where it is. And then, well, like at night, it's a classic. There's been a couple of house fires we've gone to where we've really needed the water. I've opened up the hydrant and it's off centre. We can't tap the hydrant as we call it, or it's dark, or the lugs won't line up, and you're panicking and you're trying to line it up. You get your hand in there, or it's full of water and you can't see, and they go water, and you know, sort of pressure's really on. You finally get in, and then next minute, right, get in there, grab that hose, take it in now, protect that exposure, blah blah. You sprint in, you're covered in sweat just from getting the bloody water.
I'm sweating just thinking about it. Never happens to me. I'm sweating just now.
I'm already worn out.
That's my point of view.
It's not so much that, it's mainly the manpower, because you need so many people, because you've got to have people, you know, to go in. It's very laborious cleaning it all up, you know, it takes a long time, it's slow, and you've got to have guys going in, and they can only come out, they've got to have a rest for a while, and you've got to have others going in and coming out, rotate around, so you need a lot of manpower. That's where the money would go, I'd imagine, anyway.
A lot of bad accidents here. You think that since we've had rescue, it's we get a lot of car accidents, and on average, we average 2 fatalities a week on the road in Liverpool. A lot must go through their mind because there's only 2 of them driving, and it's a specialised skill. And if you're going to a particular call, you've got to drive through traffic, and also you've got to think of, you know, how bad's the accident when you get there, and what are you going to do, and what are you going to use, and it's a real kind of a stressful job. It's very hard for fires involving children or death involving children. It's very hard to digest, and it takes a lot to get over. It's a different job. The job changes every year. It's a different job from when I was when I first joined the job. All we had was K-Night ceilings and K-Pock mattresses. You know, the old fire, he never had as much trouble as what he has now, because in the like fumes that are given off now in plastics and household goods give off cyanide gas.
The changes to the work haven't only been from K-Pock ceilings and lumpy old mattresses. Changes to the job have meant now carrying a heavy weight of new equipment, plus air tanks to avoid poisonous gases, and operating a range of high-tech rescuing equipment. The changes are also blurring in the line between firefighters, police and ambulance workers. You can see the new team effort in scenes like this.
I mean, it's still a government job, so you're probably hopeful that you're going to have some
Employment in the future.
Employment in the future. Yeah, you've got a bit more tenure than private sector. You know, you just come in one day and it's goodbye.
As far as job security goes, the guys are right. I feel really secure in this job, but like I said, I applied, I didn't know if I was going to get in, didn't hear anything and never thought of it, but never knew what was really involved in the fire brigade as a career, as it is now. It's changed over the years since Peter joined, since Chris joined, like I said, even now since I joined, it's changing over now, and it is becoming a real career job. There's a lot more expected of firefighters these days, there's a lot more things that are changing, and there's a lot more responsibility placed on the fire brigade, which is, it's good in a sense, because now we're all studying all the time, and we're all matriculating whether we like it or not, because we have to, which is good. But I mean, ask guys why they're doing the job, and a lot of guys I've spoken to in the job had said, well, like, you know, I've got in the job because, you know, it's 4 days on, 4 days off, and I like the career, and, you know, it's something I want to do. I'm probably going to
But you got to just give that bit back to the
Well, that's it. A lot of people don't believe me when I say
The boys
that.
on a roll.
Well, I got in the job because I have worked in community services before. I got in this job, and I like working with people. And I thought, oh, well, there's a way, like Jeff says, to give that bit back, to work within the community in a sense, but at the same time have a job that you can get somewhere in. And it sounds like a joke, but that's why I got in. But I'd like to know why guys, what appeals to guys out there now. Why do they want to get in the job? Is it the uniform and the red truck and the thing you see when you're a little boy? Oh, I want to do that. Or is there something more? Because there's more than that involved nowadays.
Ambulance rescue was responded
We were told to come in via the Arthur Street entrance into Hamilton Street, and we had a tanker overturned off the freeway. On arrival, we noticed the tanker was laying on its driver's side. Fuel was spilling from the tanker. On examination of the cabin, we noticed the driver was trapped in his cabin on its side. We sustained straight away that the driver was deceased. Fire brigade were quickly behind us. They established some fire lines, gave us some fire protection. We got to work, we moved the body, and we moved the body from the scene, and then stood back till the fire brigade took over.
I think people just should know, if like for kids, if they're or young guys or young women, they're thinking about joining, they really need to know, probably like as people saying that about the shift work, like that's one thing, because I mean, a lot of people come, I mean, when you're 18 or 19 and all your mates are going to be going to the pub on Friday, Saturday night, and you can only go 3 Friday nights out of every 8, then that's a bit of a curtailment to your social life. So it's probably a good idea that they know and understand what the shift work involves, that they're going to have to be here, when all their mates are out having a good time.
But I enjoy the job. I know a few guys who do complain about it and tend to find faults in it, but when you think about it, if you compare it to a lot of other people and a lot of other jobs there are, this is a really good career. It's got a lot of really good aspects about it, and there are places to go. You can go up the ladder if you're prepared to work at it, and I mean, 4 days on, 4 days off.
You sound like a recruiter, mate.
It's definitely not for everyone though, because there's people I have spoken to and they say, oh, what kind of hours did you do? Oh, all right, gee, you worked that long. You say, oh, well, we do get to recline. They go, oh, you go to bed, you go to sleep. And you go, well, yeah, you go to sleep, but you try getting up in the morning after you've been woken 3 or 4 times during the night, and you tell me you have a good day all the next day, and you don't. Admittedly, there are nights you get a whole night, okay, reclining, sure, but on most occasions you're up during the night and you're running around. And then they ask you about what's the wages like, and so, well, I get this amount, and we're going to increase the rank when I pass my next exam. It goes up again, they go, oh, well, gee, I could earn more than that because of my university degree or more something I've done. And so, so they've got to consider the wages factor too. But I mean, a lot of firemen work what we call a quarry, a second job. A lot of us are tradesmen, and we can work on our time off because we've got that time off.
I don't. I just give my full, full dedicated service to the fire brigade.
So I came in at 23, and I had a trade, and I worked in a couple of different positions. And I've spoken to guys who come in when they were 18, which is the minimum age requirement, or it used to be. And they'll admit themselves that they were too young to come to the job, and they got smart, and they'd never been in a real job before and whatever, and they were like, no way, and they've settled down straight away and cut into line virtually after they've been slapped around a fair bit. But I think, guys like Jeff, that's for sure, and all the careers he's been in, can really appreciate the job, and I've got a fairly good appreciation for the job because I've worked in different fields, but anyone just coming straight out of school or something like that wouldn't get the job appreciation of what the job's about. But at my age too, as Jeff said, he'll get a shot at station officer if he wants. But then again, he's got to look at, I'll get 2 shots at it, more than likely, whereas Jeff will only get the 1 shot at it. And it might not be for another, how do you reckon, 5 or 6 years till they have another SO's exam to matriculate up the ranks. So, depends on what age you get.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because, you've got to have chiefs and you've got to have Indians. Not everyone. Yeah. You can still make a good contribution by being a good Indian. Being perhaps a senior firefighter and then showing guys coming in being keen, as you get older, instead of being perhaps getting lazy, be reasonably keen and show the young guys the right way to do things,
Okay, fire salvage and runner responder from headquarters pulled up in this direction. We noticed a fire in the first story of this building, approximately 50 metres long and about 30 metres in depth, containing antiques. The second story was alight on the southern end and spreading through the rest of the store in the northerly direction. We immediately got an aerial to work with a line of 38mm hose up in the ground floor up to the centre, and a line of 70mm this end protecting the buildings on the southern side. An additional aerial was called for. It was positioned on the northern side, so we had both corners of the building covered, After this was established, the crew inside was pulled back as the fire got out of control in the first story. The 2 lines of aerial were immediately got to work over the whole of this area. The roof had collapsed. Salvage work was being carried out in the antique shop on the ground floor. This had to cease for a while as the water from the 2 aerials had caused part of the ceiling to come in. At this stage, we've had total loss on the first floor of the building. Salvage work was carried out approximately 1/3 of the ground floor, and we are now mopping up the 38mm hose.
For me, 36 years later, it's still the buzz of going to a big fire. There's something about fires that fascinates, and we go as fire investigators, so in the first stages, we're not engaged in the firefighting, but we're engaged in the observations of the fire to see how it progresses. We're interviewing crews at the time to see what they've done and what they saw. And then once the fire is controlled and extinguished, we can move into that phase of investigating the cause.
Fire investigators come from the fire service, and they're all experienced firefighters with extra detective type skills. But today, you see more of that team effort with the police fire investigators here too in blue uniforms from the Crime Investigation Unit.
To be a regular firefighter, you have to be very fit to start with. You might think you're fit, but the demands now are very, very savage. Thank goodness I don't have to sit these days for the physical. The academic qualifications required has gradually come up over the years, and so an entrant to the fire brigade has to be a fairly well-educated person who is very fit and also is very motivated about joining the fire service.
How many students would you have coming through here?
This year we've got to do 120. We've got to have 120 out in their fire stations, out in the system by the end of December. Yeah. So we've got 60 in here at the moment. We've got 3 classes of 20. One class is doing physical education at the moment. They're doing a bit of PE. Another class is over doing their breathing apparatus training, and another class is at TAFE today. They're doing communication skills in the workplace today. So it's it's pretty heavy on.
Heavy on? That may be an understatement to describe today's firefighting training. As you'll see, just ask these trainees.
It's the hardest thing I've ever done. So that's what got me through that. Like, it was fantastic, her training. So
that's real serious training though, isn't it, too?
It was. Well, when the first time I got there, these guys had been training already halfway through the year, and first night I went, I couldn't even keep up with them. So I had a lot of work to do with that. I mean, I might have got through, but I didn't want to have any risk of not getting through, so I did everything I possibly could.
Yes. Lift the chin off the birds out most of it. Chew before you breathe.
These recruits are just about to go for their final practical tests. Let's get ready and go along too.
Can I have everyone's attention, please? The 4 that are doing the tower scenario. Okay, you're doing 1 crew to each level, doing firefighting and search and rescue. Have you worked that out amongst yourselves as to who's doing what level? So you're right to go. Any victims that you find, bring them straight down to the ground level, bring them out the door. If your air supply is above 130, you can continue on. If at any stage, when you're outside, you're below 130, straight over to here, service, put a new cylinder on. And how did everyone feel doing that?
Good.
Yeah. Looking at you adhering to safe working practices when you're in there, everything I saw was pretty good. Just keep in mind when feeling objects, make sure you touch them with the back of your hands first.
It's very hard to drag a body down,
It
two
is.
of you, and then do this, and
Yeah,
you don't know whether
well,
to grab the body like this.
How were you holding the body coming out?
The first time, Rod was dragging the body behind him, and I was behind him like this.
Guiding,
going
yes,
down.
yep.
The second time we tried,
Fore
I
and
grabbed
aft?
one end, yeah, he grabbed the other, but we're both going backwards.
Yep. That does make it hard. I find the best way is the way Rex and Greg, that if one of you has the victim dragging, holding up the arms and dragging, and then the other person leads you out. That way,
And they did the safe working practice.
yeah, they walk, searching and feeling as they go, and then they either keep a hand on you or just have it so that the cylinders are touching, you know, so that you're in contact. And then as you turn, no, not in between. The body is on the other side of them. They're walking backwards. Okay, that way,
He's got the body.
I'm walking backwards, going like this, and he's safe working practices leading me out.
2 bodies from level 3.
But again, be aware that if you're taking them downstairs, you don't want them to be actually going thump, thump, thump down the stairs. But the best, as best you can, even if you can lift them a little bit higher to get it out.
Slowed us down a hell of a lot. It made it hard to do the safe working practices.
Everyone happy with it?
Yes.
Any other questions on what we did? All right.
You've got to be happy with it. You've got to know we've all got limitations. We missed a few bodies, but you hear that on the news, and everyone gives 100% effort, that's all.
If you want to see more of the people in this episode of Real World, you'll find us on the internet, along with industry contacts worldwide. This is Steve Kelly in the Real World.